Tis definitely peaceful now? Won't those devils of yours come in and implement the 3-alls policy? Senior Visual Supervisor. This is unreasonable. In the first part, he was a very tough person. The movie has just started, and you're already running away? Then the position of the chief was instantly handed over to a young man looking bewildered. That person must have been cursing 1,000 times in his heart. When the village is doing well, you become the chief. When your wife and children are warm at home, the devils are about to enter the village. You want me to be the village chief, are you satisfied? What is going on? Satisfied, then let's follow your logic. You don't want to cause trouble for others. Shouldn't you run to the deep mountains and forests? Or some deserted island? And live there with your family? After all, you are all primitive people. Right, farming and fishing. Can you fish? How come? You end up running to a well-known village. To seek refuge? This doesn't make sense. So you don't want to harm your original neighbors. So you find a new group of neighbors to harm them? This is quite unreasonable. By this point, I was already full of doubts. And then the film that follows. Suddenly, I didn't know what to watch. To put it simply, you lost the main thread of the movie. What is a conflicting conflict? The protagonist is there with his family, trying to integrate into their marine society. Is that what it's about? And some conflicts within the family, plus some content about protecting whales. It feels like this middle part is particularly weak. You can't really get excited to continue watching. I feel like I'm sitting in a movie theater watching The Troubles of Growing Up, in Dolphin Bay again, in BBC's Blue Planet again. Just watch this. Oh, nature is truly beautiful. These little whales and dolphins are so cute. We must not destroy this beautiful ecosystem. Just this. Can you handle this? And then you say, he's been studying during this time. I think it's fine. But you're learning, and your whole story must be connected to your final battle. This is a basic skill for Hollywood filmmakers. James, you said you're learning ocean skills. Does it have any relation to the final battle? The connection is very small. Until the very end. His second son taught him some deep breathing. That escape had a little use during the Titanic incident. But the use of it was quite far-fetched. You as the head of the family should be leading the family in learning ocean skills. You should be at the forefront of the family. Look at yourself. Until the final battle. You don't even know how to take a deep breath. What were you doing before? Did you just learn loneliness? This side mission completely went off track. So are you really dealing with family conflicts? Oh, I spent 500 RMB to buy 2 tickets. Coming to the cinema to see your growing pains? After just watching, there were a lot of plot holes in my mind. Now I have forgotten 70 to 807%. And then the daughter, after connecting with Eva, had a meltdown, right? After the meltdown, things got pretty weird here too. In theory, they got this kind of nonsense disease. It's the female priestess in their tribe. Who can cure it? Normally, he deals with all sorts of situations like this. And this Jack. You keep talking about integration every day. So how come you're not adapting here? Don't you believe in traditional Chinese medicine that much? Specifically called a phone. To have a private high-tech diagnostic team come and treat her. Do you think this is reasonable? As a result, this actually exposed her whereabouts. It even seems like you exposed her whereabouts on purpose. Push this plot forward. That's why this segment is like this. Completely unreasonable. Also, the manipulation of emotions in this film is relatively. It's exhausting. For example, his eldest son later sacrificed himself. When sacrificing, it's just very difficult to evoke emotions in people. The main reason is in this film. In the first half, I put in a lot of effort to distinguish between the eldest son and the second son. Hey, why do you two look alike? So when he sacrificed himself, the audience also finds it difficult. The feeling is really getting to know the eldest son. Instead, the second son had more scenes earlier, including the villain, and then suddenly developed a father-son relationship with that little monkey. The audience felt very inexplicable, and then this little monkey ended up. The dad he just met pulled him up. Push this plot forward. Don't you know he's the main villain? He's alive. How many more of you and your Navi people have to die in the future? What race do you identify with? None of this makes sense. And that villain is also determined to die. Finally found Jake's location, right? You're going to challenge him to a final battle. You spent a lot of effort to locate him. How did you end up battling? You just hijacked a whaling ship in the middle. Did you just run off to battle? You as a villain. Now you're going to have a big showdown with the protagonist. You just took a broken whaling ship. This works too. Are you kidding me? And this side is also strange. Those are his brothers from the ocean tribe. They rushed up excitedly. In the end, there was a big fight, and people were gone. Are you making a comedy? Where are the people? Are they going to make a grand entrance? It's still their family fighting against the enemy. This final big battle. I am quite dissatisfied too. 13 years. You guys developed this? This completely lacks the first installment. That final aerial battle was impressive. It's the battle between those birds and fighter jets. You just threw this episode into the sea. Logically, your scale should be larger. How did it end up being a showdown between just one family? How did it end up being just this family in the end? The showdown between that villain and that squad. It turned into this street brawl style of scale. Can you justify what you did? Anyway, I've forgotten how they fought. This big whale made a significant contribution. Bang, jumped onto the ship, twisting the neck and twisting the butt. Wipe out a bunch. And then people. Just randomly hitting each other and the firepower of these humans. It's too primitive. It's all interstellar combat. You have a bit of technology content, right? What are they playing? What inflatable buoy? What fishing nets? One with a bomb and one with a spearhead. And then there's another deep sea bomb? Damn, is this the Greyhound hunting submarines? What era is this? This sci-fi movie is so fake, it lacks any sci-fi feel. I think you're Cameron. Do you want to watch The Wandering Earth? It might give you some inspiration. What do you call a sci-fi movie? What settings and ideas should he have? This big battle lacks imagination. It's all about hand-to-hand combat. Besides, it's not a live-action film. It's supposed to have a lot of special effects. You can definitely scale it up a bit. Make it a big naval battle, right? I just said these human weapons feel primitive. Do you have to use this whaling ship? So you better prepare well. You should at least call in 3 or 4 aircraft carriers. Why don't you bring in everything like the Feilong, Chicheng, and Kaga? In the final battle of the two fleets, it's a torrent of steel over there. All kinds of aircraft carriers. There are all kinds of gunboats. So on this side, we rely on some shrimp soldiers and crab generals from nature. Riding their own little dolphins, not bad either. It's a very exciting show. And, you also need to bring in this Jack family from before. To come into this ocean tribe, the training and growth in the time that follows should be integrated into it. What have you learned? For example, if I were to write this script, I don't want him to inexplicably come to this ocean tribe. Like a coincidence. This doesn't make sense. He should have come on purpose. Because he initially discovered that human technology has advanced a lot. Now it's impossible to rely on those birds. The Air Force is already useless. Now we have to rely on the Navy. With the Navy, he found this ocean tribe. He said you understand the skills in this ocean. But I know how to deal with humans. I have tactical skills and experience from previous victories. So we merge. I will be the one to train. Finally trained this dolphin fleet. The villains came prepared as well. A thrilling sea battle. In the end, this dolphin fleet won. That's more like it. Your level is constantly rising. The first time you led this bird tribe, defeated the humans. As human technology advances, your bird tribe can't handle it anymore. You must unite. Other sea, land, and air forces on Pandora. Become a Pandora coalition. You need this kind of power to deal with humans. You are not Cameron. Isn't this episode about filming the ocean? You just need to integrate this plot into this story. In the end, you will be in a Pandora united fleet to defeat humanity. This momentum and the scenes have all been elevated. The plot of your current story. Actually, from conflicts to scene scale, it's all smaller than the first one. So, are you not joking? It would be great if there's still the World Cup final tonight. Those of you who haven't watched don't need to rush. If you have time, go take a look. If you don't have time, don't bother watching, really. 2022 20th Century Studios. Not recommended. 2022 20th Century Studios.